So today I will start the chapter 12, 12.1 to 12.5. And what is chapter 12 is physical properties of solution. So first of all, you should know that what is solution. I already explained you last time. How many parts solution has? The two parts. These are the major part of the solution. Number one, solute. Number two, solvent. Solute always be, this is the substance, either solid, liquid or gas, but this quantity is always be less, smaller quantity in the solution. And the solvent is always be the big quantity, bigger quantity, right? This is also maybe a solid, liquid, gas. Anything can be happen, right? Anything can be solute or solvent. But you have to decide on the basis of the quantity, less or more. Less quantity, solute; more quantity, solvent. These are the examples we have here. The gas, right? Number one, component two. State the resulting solution. Example here, air. So in the air, this is the gas. So whatever the second component is also gas, third component is also gas. Second example is soda water, carbon dioxide in water. So there is this one component is gas and other component is liquid. So first component is solute, another component is liquid, large quantity. And the state of resulting solution, when you mix together, you will get a liquid because liquid will be large. Example is soda or any soft drink, and like Pepsi, lemon, whatever you have. So carbon dioxide is a small quantity that dissolve into water, and water is a big quantity that is act as a solvent. And sugar also in that container, sugar also solute. Gas, and third example is hydrogen gas in palladium. Palladium is a catalyst. It will work in the presence of hydrogen gas. So gas, first component is a gas, second is solid. This palladium is solid. So this is solid and liquid gas. So you will get a solid. The final solution will be solid because the gas is passing through this. Liquid. Suppose solute is liquid, solvent also liquid, and solution will be liquid. Example, ethanol in water. So both are liquid, but ethanol will be less quantity and water will be high quantity. So component 1 is solute, component 2 is solvent. Solid, liquid, and the solution is liquid. What is the example? Sodium chloride in water, sugar in water. These are the solution. So the sodium chloride is a solid, that is solute, less quantity. And the liquid is water, that is solvent. If you mix together, definitely you will get a solution, and that is also liquid. Solid and solid. Example, brass, zinc, copper and zinc, solders, right? Tin and lead. So if you make these different solids into solid, you will mix less or more. So one will be small quantity, other will be large quantity. So that is the solid you will get. So these are the example of solution that is contain how much solute and solvent. And now there are two type or three type of solution: saturated solution, unsaturated solution, and supersaturated solution. Saturated solution is contain the maximum amount of the solute that will dissolve in a given solvent at a specific temperature. There is no need to increase temperature. At a particular temperature, you can dissolve amount of a solute that becomes saturate. After some time, if you add any solute, that solute cannot be dissolved, because whatever space you have into the solvent, all space has filled with solute, no space left behind. So that's why after some time you will see the extra sodium chloride will settle down in the bottom of the beaker. It cannot dissolve because the all dissolving power of the water has completed. That is known as saturated solution. Unsaturated solution is that solution in which you have a capacity to dissolve any solute into the water, and water also have some rooms, empty rooms, in which the solid can accommodate. So that solution is known as unsaturated solution. It means that once the solid is dissolved, so still you can add some solid, and that is also dissolved unless it becomes saturated, right? So unsaturated solution you can dissolve more and more solute, but in saturated solution you cannot dissolve more solute. Supersaturated solution contain more solute. So in this case, more solute than present in a saturated solution. So whatever the solute you added into saturated solution, in this case, you also have the greater quantity of the solute as compared to the saturated solution you added in this solution to a specific temperature. Sodium acetate crystals rapidly form when a sweet crystal is added to the supersaturated solution of sodium acetate. If you heat up sodium acetate and the unsaturated solution, they become more space in water, and this you will add some more extra solute into this solution, and now you will see that all solution dissolve when you temperature increase. And when your temperature decrease, what happen? You will add some extra crystal of the sodium acetate crystal you added. So now it start to make pure crystal from this crude substance. That crystal you can filter it out. So that is known as supersaturated crystal or solution. Is it clear now? Saturated, unsaturated, and supersaturated solution.
Clear.
Doctor,
Yes.
when the supersaturated, the solute will be dissolved or will be stay at it is.
No, no. In supersaturated solution, because when you get the saturated solution, right, this is the condition after saturated. You just little heat the solution. So what happens? You will get more rooms into the water because of temperature increase. Then you will add some extra solute into it. Then it will dissolve. And now, because the solute is greater than the capacity of water, so when you cool it down, whatever the extra solute you added, that will be crystallized. That will come back again in form of crystals. So that's why you will see here the two pictures. The crystal of sodium acetate, whatever you added extra molecule into the water, and when you cool it down, when it come back to the crystal form. Is clear?
Yes, thank you.
Um, So this is all about the definition of, sometime it may be asked, okay, define saturated solution, unsaturated or saturated. You can give any example, you can give any solute instead of sodium acetate, you can take any sodium chloride, sodium acetate, sodium fluoride, whatever. Molecular view of the solution. Actually, there are three types of interaction. How the solution are formed. To make the solution, there are three types of interaction: solvent-solvent interaction, solute-solute interaction, and solvent-solute interaction. So the third one is making solution. The first and second, they will activate the solvent and activate the solute. So look at an example, the solvent on the left hand side and solute on the right hand side. You heat up first the solvent. So what happens? They get the energy, they get the heat, and they will activate it. It means that they are ready to make a reaction with other solute. Similarly, the solute, it's very confined state. This is the very good structure of the solute. Once you heat it, it will disperse. All the molecules will get the heat, and all molecules will away from each other. This will be in disorder, right? And this solvent and solute, look at on the left hand and right hand side, they are compact. Okay, they are in order form. But after heating, they become disorder. Okay, so now they are activated molecule. It means they can right now they can react with solvent or solvent react with solute to make a reaction, to make a solution. So now when you react with this, that is third step, and now you will get all the solution and the total enthalpy, total heat, you can add it all, delta H1, delta H2, delta H3. That is the enthalpy of a solution. So this is the way how we solvent-solvent interaction, how we get solvent-solute interaction, solute-solute interaction. So when we these molecule of solvent, they are interact to each other. When they get the heat, they generate the heat, and now they become active and they are ready to make a bond, right, to make a solution. Similarly, the solute also, they will disperse and they have interact to each other, they combine, they interact, they fight. So the high energetic now they combine with the solvent, and then now you will get a solution, and now after that you will add the total enthalpy of the solution. So one step, two step, and there are three steps. This is all about molecular view of a solution. Now, like dissolve like, it means that like daughter like mother. Okay, just like mother, daughter are also similar to that. So like dislike means the solvent and solute, they can dissolve if both are polar or both are non-polar, just like dissolve like. It means that here the study we have to do it about the polar and non-polar substance. The polar substance dissolve in polar solvent, the non-polar solute dissolve in non-polar solute. The polarity based on this one here, dipole moment. Do you study dipole moment in the high school as well as in the physics? What is dipole moment? The moment generated or created into a molecule which has positive and negative charge, north and south pole. There are interaction between two poles, that is known as uh, dipole moment. Dipole means two poles movement because of negative and positive. So the polar molecule is that molecule which has the positive dipole moment, and the negative or the non-polar molecule which doesn't have any positive and negative charge, that is less than 0 or less than 1 dipole. So the molecule which is greater than 1 dipole moment, they are polar. The molecule which is less than 1 dipole moment, they are non-polar. Solvation is the process in which an ion or molecule is surrounded by the solvent molecule arranged in a specific manner if the solvent is water. So this is the name of the process in which you dissolve sodium chloride or dissolve sugar into the water. This process is known as solvation or hydration, right? And by the solvent molecule in a specific manner, if the solvent is water, is known as hydration. If the solvent is any organic molecule, organic solvent, is known as solvation. So the difference between solvation and hydration. Two substances with the similar intermolecular forces are likely to be soluble in each other. Non-polar, non-polar, non-polar in polar. Ionic are polar, so dissolve in polar. Okay, I will take an example here. So there are two types of solvation. Number one, what is solvation? Solute dissolve in solvent if solvent is any organic molecule, any organic solvent, if is called solvation. If the solvent is water, right, then it is called hydration. So this is the difference, please you remember that, right? Difference between solvation and hydration. Now we have an example, CCl4 in C6H6. So CCl4 plus C6H6. The dipole moment, this is mu, known as dipole moment. Dipole moment. If this dipole moment is less than 1, this dipole moment is also less than 1, so the solution become possible or not?
Possible, teacher.
Solution, pardon?
I believe it's possible.
Possible. It means solution will make, right?
Right.
Solution make or make possible, right? Solution will form. If you have dipole moment greater than 1 of the solute, and if you have solvent, dipole moment is less than 1, what happened? Solution is formed or not?
No, teacher.
No solution. Okay. So I will take another example, C2H5OH and water. C2H5OH plus water. So you know generally if dipole moment is not given in the question, and if you have this, so water molecule, you know structure is like this, right? These are oxygen and hydrogen. So automatically you know that this is negative and this is positive. I already show you in the previous chapter. And similarly this is negative and this is positive, right? So this already known as dipole. Once it is dipole, it means that the this the magnetic dipole moment equal to is greater than 1. Dipole moment is greater than 1. So it means they will make solution. Another example we have sodium chloride and water. Sodium chloride and water. This is second example. So sodium chloride is the polar or non-polar? Who will tell me? The dipole moment is what, greater or less? Very good.
Polar, teacher.
Polar, so greater than 1, right? And this is also greater than 1. So both are make a solution. So this is the way, this is the way how to make a solution. Whether they will make solution or not, it depends on their polarity as well as on dipole moment. Dipole moment is greater than 1, it means the compound is polar, means dipole, it means positive and negative charge is there. When there is no positive, no negative charge, so it means dipole moment is less than 1. Just like the non-polar on the right hand side of the periodic table, they have all non-polar. Whatever the molecule they will make, they all are non-polar. Just like carbon disulfide, carbon dioxide, okay, N2O5, PCl3, all are non-polar, right? They have this all non-polar, so non-polar will dissolve into non-polar. Remember that, okay? Alhamdulillah. Now I have an example, another example. Okay, now I will show you this one. Look at this example. Alhamdulillah.
رحمك الله.
So, يهديني ويهديكم الله. Look the first example. Predict the relative solubilities in the following cases, whether you will make solution or not. Okay, now example 1, bromine in benzene. So bromine non-polar, benzene also non-polar, it means automatically it is non-polar. So benzene is liquid and bromine is a gas. So it can be soluble or it can be make a solution or not. Like dissolve, like what I explain you.
No, teacher. They're not the same.
Will they make solution or not? The bromine can dissolve into benzene, yes or no?
No.
Yes, because non-polar with non-polar.
So what I told you, bromine here and benzene both have dipole moment 0. It means non-polar. So they will make solution or not?
They will make solution.
They will make solution because both are non-polar, as I told you. Okay, now bromine plus, now this bromine plus water, they will make a solution. Yes, sir. मेरी अब क्लास है, क्लास चल रही है. ओके. नहीं, तुमने जवाब दे तो दिया था. नहीं, इट्स ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम, थैंक यू, जज़ाकल्लाह. Okay. So the bromine is non-polar because the dipole moment is 0 and water dipole moment is 1.87. Is it polar or non-polar?
Non, it's polar. They cannot make.
It's polar, right?
Yes.
So will they make solution or not?
No.
Yeah, so no solution. All right, no solution. But these two, bromine and benzene, they will make solution because both are non-polar. So bromine is non-polar molecule and more soluble in benzene, so they will make a solution, and then in water. Water, they will not make solution. Second question is KCl is in carbon tetrachloride or in ammonia. Okay, so I will write here either KCl plus CCl4 and KCl plus NH3. CCl4, where is CCl4 dipole moment is 0 and ammonia is dipole moment is 1.63. So you tell me which one make a solution. Other student, please tell me which solution you will make, KCl with CCl4 or KCl with NH3. First
The
of all, you tell me this KCl is polar or non-polar.
non-polar. They are polar. They are polar. They are potassium same as sodium. Polar.
Please, I told you before answer, think, then you answer. You immediately you tell the always you tell wrong answer. But this is sodium chloride or potassium chloride, metal and non-metal always polar. This is positive charge, this is negative charge, this is polar molecule, dipole moment it has. For ionic compound, no need to give dipole moment. Automatically, dipole moment is greater than 0. So, which one will make solution?
KCl and ammonia.
KCl with ammonia, right? This one positive and negative, and this is also 1.63. So this is also polar, right? Here, sorry. This is negative and this is positive hydrogen. So this also dipole moment it has greater than 0, right? So they will make solution. They will not make solution. Clear? Is it clear now?
Yes.
So please note down, please. You guys note down the concept. Third example, formaldehyde. See, as I told you, hydrogen is there, this is automatically polar. This formaldehyde dissolve in carbon disulfide. So this formaldehyde HCHO, formaldehyde. We can also write like this. Formaldehyde, right? Plus carbon disulfide. Its dipole moment is 0. And formaldehyde HCHO plus in water. Its dipole moment is greater than 1. And you know that this is automatically plus and minus, plus and minus. So this plus and minus they have. So is it polar or non-polar?
Polar.
Polar.
So this is polar, right? And polar molecule will dissolve in polar, and non-polar molecule dissolve in non-polar, just like dissolve like. So now you tell me which one makes solution.
HCHO with water.
Is he correct? Other student, please.
Um,
Which two molecule will make solution and why? Come on,
the
Yasmin, I already told you the concept, and even then you are not deciding.
Because
formaldehyde will form with water, or the CS2 not.
Formaldehyde with water. What is the concept? What is the reason? Why?
Uh,
because both
it's
is
lacks of
polar.
like both has over the one, while the carbon dioxide is equal zero.
Yeah, because this is non-polar, so they will not make solution, right?
Right.
They will not make. And these both are polar, so they will make solution. Clear?
Clear.
Okay. Suppose you have NaCl dissolve into ammonia or NaCl dissolve into carbon dioxide. Vinegar plus H2O plus carbon disulfide. Okay, now tell me which will make solution. Okay, and which will not. Come on, fast.
NaCl with ammonia will make solution because both is polar.
Okay, solution. Okay, both are polar. And this one,
Um,
It will not make because
Which will
CO2 is
not.
non-polar.
CO2 is dipole moment is less than 1, right? Or 0, right? Or 0. So they will not make. Acetic acid is,
The third one will make solution.
okay, this is third one, yeah, you are right. This is second, third, this is fourth, yeah. Third one makes solution, why?
Because both has dipole moment more than one.
Okay,
Both
yeah,
are
both are
polar.
polar. Simple way, both are polar.
Yes. The fourth one will not make because CS2 is not polar.
This is non-polar. This is polar. So they will not make solution. Alright, so this is clear now, huh?
Yes.
yes.
Now concentration unit. Concentration means what you call in Arabic? I forget the name in Arabic. I know that before.
Turkeys.
Turkeys.
Turkeys. Turkeys. Turkeys. Yes. So this here we have to introduce the new things. See, percent by mass you already done. Mole fraction you already done. Okay, I will come back. And molarity you already done in the previous chapter. Here the new terminology we use, that is molality. This I will explain. Percent by mass, this you already done it. By mass percentage, the mass of the solute divided by mass of the solute plus solvent, that is solution, right? Multiply by 100. So this you already know that. And mole fraction, you already calculate the mole of a single gas divided by the total mole of all gases is known as mole fraction. All right, mole of A divided by sum of mole of all component A to Z, whatever you have. Suppose a sample of 0.982 gram potassium chloride is dissolved in 54.6 gram of water, right? So what is the percent by mass? Just the formula I already show you here. Look at this formula and tell me now. The percentage by mass of KCl equal to what?
The mass of the potassium chloride.
Mass of KCl divided by
Water plus the KCl.
Mass of KCl plus mass of water, right? So you will get 0.892 divided by 0.892 plus 54.6 gram, right? That is percentage, then you multiply by 100. This is the way how to calculate. Molarity. Molarity, you know that moles of the solid divided by liter of the solution. Suppose 0.5 gram of NaCl dissolve in 100 milliliter of water, determine its molarity. So what is the answer, please?
First we change the milliliter to liter.
Okay, now you change milliliter to liter, that is 0.1 liter, you get it, right?
Yes. Then divide the then
0.5 of
find the moles.
So now 0.5 gram divided by the mass of NaCl, right? Then you will get moles of NaCl. This is mass over molar mass, right? Molar mass. So how much molar mass? Sodium is 23, chlorine is 35.5. So now 0.5 divided by 23 plus 35.5, that is 23, and this is 58.5. How much you get? 58.5. 0.5 divided by 58.5. How much moles you get?
I got 8.54 multiplied by 10 power minus 3.
8.54 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 3 moles, right?
Right.
So molarity you get moles per liter, right? So now you will get 8.5 multiplied by -3 divided by 0.1. That is molarity, you get it. All right.
Right. It will be 0.08.
0.08.
Yes, or 85.4 multiplied by 10 power 3.
Okay. No, molarity, how much you got?
Yeah, this I got 0.0854. If I want to make it 85.4 by the power, multiplied by the power of 10 minus 3.
Point zero eight 0.0854. Okay, molarity. So this is the way how to determine molarity, right? Okay, now you come molality. Molality is only the moles of the solute divided by the mass of solvent. Remember that, not the solution, in kilogram. This is the main thing. Solute is okay, mole of the solute is okay, but mass of the solvent in kilogram. Whatever mass you have divided by 1000, you will get, or multiply by 1000, you will get kilogram. All right, look at this example. Calculate the molality of sulfuric acid solution containing 24.4 gram of sulfuric acid in 198 gram of water. The molar mass of sulfuric acid is given, right? So first of all, you calculate the mass is moles of the solute divided by mass of the solvent. That is molality. Molality is expressed in small m. Remember that. Molality. So first of all, the moles. So moles you will get it 24.4 gram mass over molar mass, right? That is mole equal to what? Mass over molar mass, right? Just you take it here, molar mass of sulfuric acid is this and mass is this, so you will get moles. So this is the way. See, in 1 mole of H2SO4, 98.09 gram of H2SO4 present. Either you divide it by this directly or you can write like this. Both way you will get the correct, right? The correct formula or correct answer you get. So this is the moles you have. And 198 gram of water change into kilogram. So 198 gram of water change into kilograms. So 198 divided by 1000, right? Divided by 1000 gram. So you will get you will get 0.198 kilogram. Then molarity you will get, moles you get it 0.249 moles divided by 0.198, then you will get molality 1.26 small m. Simple example, this one, straight example, no change at all. Any question now?
No, teacher.
Clear.
Clear?
Yes, all clear.
Second example, it is little bit complicated. You know, this in this example, just we involve density, mass per unit volume. Suppose this density is giving here 0.976 gram per milliliter. It means that in 1 milliliter of the solution, or so whatever you have, 0.96 gram of the solute present. That is their density, right? So molality equal to what? Moles per liter, per kilogram of solvent. So we don't know the solvent here, right? According to the density, what we have the solution. Gram per milliliter means this much of gram present in 1 milliliter of the solvent. So this is solution, not the solvent only. So from this solution, and this is the kilogram, so we have to change into first liter. Look at here the example. This is the formula, and now the 1 liter of the solution, this is, look at here, the 2.45 molar. The solution is, concentration is, molarity is 2.45 molar. It means, that is, molar means what? Molar means what?
Moles over liter.
Moles?
Pardon?
Moles over liter.
Yes,
Molarity.
moles per liter. Molar means how many moles of the solute divided by 1 liter of the solution. This is molar. We can say molar. So it will be expressed as a capital M. Alright. So now 1 liter solution is equal to how much milliliter? We know that this is 1 liter 1000 milliliter. So 1 ml, this is the density, right? If this density is 0.976 gram present in 1 milliliter, right? So how much will be in 1 liter? Because why we are calculating in 1 liter? Because our solution is 2.45 molar.
Salsa?
Right.
Salsa.
So you multiply by, this is 1 milliliter and this is become liter, right? So you multiply by 1000. 0.976 multiplied by 1000, make it liter, that is 976 gram per liter. This is the way. So if you know that this is 976 gram per liter, this is the solution. So first of all, we have to determine here how much solvent and how much solute. So what does it mean by 2.45 molar? What does it mean by?
Moles per liter.
So this is moles, right?
Right.
It means that in 2.45 molar, it means that moles per liter. So it means that how many moles it contains? 2.45 moles, right? And this is methanol. If you know this methanol, moles, you know that, and you know the formula, the mole is equal to mass over molar mass, right? So if you want to calculate mass, so what we do? Mass mole into molar mass, right? So we have this mass of this ethanol, because this ethanol is a small quantity and water is a big quantity. So small methanol is a solute and water is a solvent. So this methanol we have to calculate how much mass of methanol, and total mass of methanol plus water we calculated here 976 according to the density. So from 976 the mass of methanol you subtract, then you will get mass of the solvent. So mass of methanol, how you will get from this formula, equal to moles 2.45 multiplied by total molar mass of 32.04. Then you will get mass of you get it 2.45 multiplied by 2.45 multiplied by 32.04. From where we got 32.04? What is this? Tell me now.
32.04 is the molar mass of the methanol.
Yeah, from where we get this? Predictable. This is gram you get, right? So you know this is mass of the solute, and now mass, okay, solution is solute plus solvent. So if you want to calculate solvent, so solvent equal to what? Solution minus solute, right?
Right.
So solution is, we already calculated here. See, according to the density, 976. This is here. Minus the solute. Solute we calculate here, 78.498. So minus 78.4898 we calculate here. Then you will get 9898 gram. Right? And this is the solvent. And this solvent changed to kilogram. What do you do?
Divided by 1,000.
898 divided by 1000. 0.898 you will get. That is here. And the mole is already giving here. Mole is 2.45 mole. And this is the solvent, you get it. Kilogram solvent. It's not solute. Solute is not solvent. Solution. Solution is molarity. So how we get the solvent? If the density is giving, density will show the solution. It means this much of gram of the solute present in a solvent. That is, you add up both, that you will get solution. But how you get solution? How you will get solvent from solution? So you should know that density is per milliliter, but you change per liter because molarity is per liter. Once you get the density in liter, that is the solution mass. So total mass. Out of this total mass of the solution, you subtract mass of the solvent. Mass of the solute. And mass of the solute you will get from the molarity is giving 2.45. That is moles of the solute divided by liter of the solution. Moles of the solute change to mass of the solute multiply by molar mass of the solute. You will get mass of the solute. And mass of the solute, that is whatever you get it, 78.498 gram. Then you subtract this mass solute from mass of the solution. So you will get mass of the solvent. Once you get mass of the solute and mass of the solvent, then you put in molarity formula 2.45 divided by 0.898. Any difficulty, please? This is a complicated question. Please ask me. I will repeat again. Which step is not clear? Please ask me. Hello, guys, from the back side. Other student, ask me, please.
Doctor,
Yes.
when we
No
have the
question.
molarity as moles per liter, we can consider uh, at moles.
Molarity is there, so moles per liter, right?
Yes.
So you can calculate the moles is there, or you can calculate mass. So for the mass formula, you should know that mass is equal to mass, or mole is equal to mass over molar mass, right? So you will calculate mass is equal to moles into molar mass of the solute. Any question now?
So the same number of the molarity, we use it as moles.
Exactly. Capital M means moles per liter. It means that much of moles are present in 1 liter.
Yeah, okay, clear.
Any other question, please ask. Tell me
No,
now what is the role of density? What is the role of density in this question now?
To find the volume, which is liter.
No, no.
But to find the
What is the
mass of
role of density? What density is saying that in this question? What does it mean?
finding the mass of the solution.
Uh-huh. In milliliter, right? Density means that.
Yes.
So that is the density of anything you can calculate, that is mass per unit volume. So density of any substance, that is this much of gram present in 1 milliliter, that is its density. But generally, our solution molarity solution is per liter, right? Because the molarity is giving there 2.45. So that density we have to change to liter. So in liter, how much gram of the solute present in 2.45 molar? So you just multiply by 1000, you will just get in 1000 gram how much mass you get it, and then you subtract from the mass of the solution, that is 898,976 gram per liter. You subtract the mass of the solute, you will get mass of the solvent, and that mass of the solvent is changed into kilogram. You will divide it by 1000, you will get into kilogram. Then you calculate molality. Moles of the solute divided by solvent of the, sorry, kilogram of the solvent. Clear now? Hello, or any question, please?
no,
Yes,
teacher.
clear, doctor.
I just put different. Okay, 1 minute. Effect of temperature. Hmm. Just a minute. Ya Allah. Okay, now I have done it. Actually, some slides are missing here. Anyway, I have done now, Alhamdulillah. Okay. Now 12.4. Effect of temperature on solubility. Effect of temperature on solubility. You know, as I explained you in the previous example, whatever the things, you know, any substance or any chemical, if you heat it, what the chemistry of that solvent or solute, if you heat it, what happened? Just give me a general idea. If you heat anything, so what happened with that? It will increase the space, it cover the more space, or it become less space, less volume. What is this? If you heat anything,
it will cover more space. Like
more space, right? So it expanded. It means that the molecules get the energy, get the heat, and expanded, right? So here it is different thing. The temperature effect, any solute, if you dissolve into water, as I told you, saturate or unsaturate or supersaturate solution, once you heat it, then it become soluble. So now the solubility increase with increased temperature. It is very clearly written here. But here, look at here, there's some examples are different. This is the solubility increase. You will see here the black graph HNO2, and another graph is KBr. Another is you have NaBr, sodium. Here the solubility is 100, around 100% when the temperature become 100. Okay, but in KBr it will dissolve around 50%, 50% of the solubility in at temperature 100 degree. So now this is KBr and sodium nitrate, and potassium nitrate is 100 degree, but it is 250% solubility, means too much soluble. But other things, look at here, KCl, NaCl, and sodium sulfate and cesium sulfate. When it reaches to the 100 degrees C, their solubility is around 20%. NaCl also at 100 degrees C, if you dissolve it, it's around 25-26%. And KCl also around 26-27%. But the least soluble is cesium sulfate, SO4 thrice. So remember this, please. At high temperature, which of the compound is least soluble? In multiple choice questions, sometimes that question may be asked. Which one is least soluble and which one is most soluble? So most soluble is KNO3 and least soluble is cesium sulfate. I will write here. Ooh. something wrong. What happened? The video is going to be on. Hello?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, I think it's revolving, right?
No, teacher. We have in what's it called?
Okay. I think this video is problem. Oh, all right. So the most soluble solute in solvent is KCl. What is this? KNO3. KNO3. Number 2, soluble least soluble is cesium sulfate thrice, because this cesium is 3 positive, sulfate is 2 positive, so this is 2 here, cesium 2 sulfate thrice, right? So this is least soluble. Remember that. Note down this, please. Which compound is most soluble in water? Which compound is least soluble in water if the temperature increase? So this is at 100 degrees C. If this will at 100 degrees C is around 25 or less than, how much is around 23-24%. Around 23% soluble. NaCl and KCl, this is 24%, this is 25%, right? They are soluble. This is around 240% soluble. It is giving in the graph, 240% soluble. Sodium bromide is around 110, solubility is 110 is the gram solvent per 100 gram of water. In 100 gram means percent. So this is percentage. Anything which is not clear here? Effect of temperature, solid solubility, and temperature reflection, right? Temperature giving in Celsius and solubility around percentage. Solubility increase here, and the solubility is decrease here. If temperature change at 100 degrees Celsius. No question, please.
No question, teacher.
Now, that is all about the solid. And now I'm talking about the gas. It is opposite to that of the solid. When the temperature increase, the solid solubility will increase. It means that will soluble. But in case of gas, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, if you increase the temperature, the solubility decrease. If you decrease the temperature, the solubility increase. Just like an example, I will take an example, soft drink. Soft drink. So whatever see carbon dioxide here, this will evaporate if temperature is increased. If temperature is decreased, this become cool. It means carbon dioxide is dissolved. So at low temperature, all gases dissolve. At high temperature, the gases not dissolve. It means evaporated. All right. Just like you will take an example of the soft drink, you put it outside the fridge. Then when you open it, there is no sound of gas. It means the already gas gone outside. Once you put that soft drink into the fridge, what happens? The temperature is low, so the hydrogen or oxygen or carbon dioxide, they dissolve into the solvent mixture in the solution, and this become cold. When you open this soft drink, cold soft drink, then you will listen the sound like that, like that. So that sound you will get it. It means that the carbon dioxide is forcibly is coming out when you reduce the temperature or increase the temperature. So definitely this graph showing that the solubility decrease if the temperature increase. Okay, so from 0 to 002 solubility to 001, it is going to be decrease if temperature 100. If temperature is 0, so the solubility is 100%, more than 100%, more than 0.002 moles per liter. So the difference you understand now, the solubility of the solid and the gas if temperature change. What you understand?
For the effects on the effects of temperature on solubility, for metals, the higher temperature is better. For gases, the lower it is, the better.
Yeah, at low temperature, all gases dissolve. At high temperature, all gases evaporate outside, undissolved. But at high temperature, all solid dissolve. At low temperature, solid cannot dissolve. This is the difference you have on. Now this is the last 12.5. What is the effect of pressure and solubility of gases? So this is the Henry law. You have to be memorized. What is Henry law? This Henry law is that the concentration is directly proportional to the pressure, and the K is the Henry's constant. Whenever you increase the concentration of any reaction, right, definitely the pressure increase. Or if you increase the pressure, so what happens? All the molecules, they collide to each other, they interact to each other, they try to mix and solubilize. So at high temperature or high pressure, the high pressure, what happens? The concentration means this solubility increase. The solubility of a gas in a liquid is proportional to the pressure. Proportional means directly linked. If you increase pressure, the concentration increase. If you decrease pressure, concentration decrease. Okay, that is known as Henry's law. C is the concentration, M is the molarity of the gas, dissolved gas, and P is the pressure of the gas over the solution. K is the constant for each gas, moles per liter per atmosphere. That depends only on temperature, right? So that is, look at here, low and high. The low pressure, low concentration. High pressure, high concentration. See how fast, how many molecules are formed. So more molecules of the product are formed if you increase the pressure. Why? How? If you increase the pressure, interaction between the molecule will be high. Interaction, right? Collide to each other because of, and now when it is collide, of course the temperature or pressure increase. When pressure increase, you will get more product, more solubility. What you understand about the Henry's law? Simple formula. Tell me now.
Teacher, the skin is still on the effects of temperature.
This is the solubility of gas pressure. Temperature I already explained. I'm talking about the pressure. What is the effect of pressure on concentration of solute?
When we increase the pressure, there will be more interaction between the molecules, so the molarity will increase.
Very good. More faster the rate of the reaction increase, it means solubility increase. That's why the concentration is proportional to the pressure. Pressure increase, concentration increase. Pressure decrease, concentration decrease. It is like that. So you can change into proportionality constant, that is K. K is the Henry's law constant for the, and it's more generally they don't have the unit, but here it has the unit moles per liter into atmosphere, that is pressure. This is an example, the solubility of nitrogen gas at 25 degrees Celsius and 1 atmosphere is, right, the pressure is 1 atmosphere and the solubility is 6.8 times 10 to the power minus 4. So what is the concentration in molarity of nitrogen dissolved in under what? Under atmospheric condition. The partial pressure of nitrogen gas is in the atmosphere is 0.78. So this you can write here. C is equal to Kp. C is giving here. K is giving 1 atmosphere. So K, the constant you will get it here 6.8 times 10 to the power minus 4. Once you have the solubility of the gas nitrogen, how you calculate? So that is C into the partial pressure of the gas, and partial pressure is giving here. This is partial pressure of nitrogen, that is 0.78. So when atmospheric pressure is 1 atmosphere, then how the nitrogen will dissolve? So you should know the partial pressure of nitrogen, that multiplied by the concentration of nitrogen gas, you will get 5.3 times 10 to the power minus 4 molar. That is the way. The decrease in solubility is the result of lowering the pressure from 1 atmosphere to 78 atmosphere. See, this is a good example. If 1 atmosphere, then you will see the result. You will get 6.8 times 10 to the power minus 4. If you decrease the partial pressure, then concentration will also decrease. Before, concentration is 6.8 times 10 to the power minus 4. And now concentration is 5.3 times 10 to the power minus 4. Please study this one. This is important example. All right. Now this is chapter 12 is finished. Any question, please? You can ask.
Thank you, teacher.
Hello.
No, thanks.
Thanks. Okay. Bye bye. No problem. You can go early. No problem. I have another class after 1 hour. So remember that will be easy. 12, chapter 12. Please go through this. From chapter 12, around 30-40% will come questions in final exam. Okay.
Okay, doctor.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you. Bye bye. I will change this. I will put this slides on. Allahu Akbar.